Hi, this is Alex Fernandez with Bud and Doug Walters Auto Sales. Today I'll be shooting a video going over the primary features inside of this 2019 Mazda Miata Grand Touring. We'll start by talking about the screen up on the dash and also this controller for the screen right here in the center console. We'll then work our way down to the climate control and some switches down below there. We'll move over to the steering wheel and the stalks behind it. The screen that you see on the left side of the gauge cluster there, and then just some buttons down here to our left side. Coming to the screen here, you'll see this is where we'll interact with our radio, our backup camera, our navigation, hooking up a phone, any of that stuff. This screen here is actually a touch screen, so you can use it that way if you'd like to, or using this controller down here in the center console, we can move through the different sections and different functions by rotating the dial. And then we also have a button to access the audio, the home screen, and the navigation. If we push that home button, you'll see here we have different categories, those being applications, entertainment, communication, navigation, and settings. We'll start with entertainment. And right now we're listening to FM radio. You'll see we have audio sources, auto memory, favorites, high definition radio, scan, tune, seek, buttons there, and then sound settings at the end. Pressing the favorites opens up that favorites list, and then you're able to add or edit that list as necessary. To go back to the previous screen, we could push this here on the dash, or we could push this button here to go back to the previous screen. We have tune there, which then allows you to open that screen and select your station by just rotating the dial. And then we have scan buttons or seek buttons there. And sound settings right at the end. Bass, treble, fade, and balance. And some Bose settings that way. Going back to the home page, we go to communication. This is where we would like to hook up a phone if we had one. In this case, we're going to go in and delete the previous phones, just so we're starting from scratch. You'll see that phone has been unpaired. And now, if we were to select that communications section, it'll say no phones connected, would you like to connect one now? If we select that, then we would go to add new device, and then the vehicle will become discoverable on your phone. So in your phone, on your Bluetooth settings, simply look for Mazda in your Bluetooth settings and choose it from that list to begin the pairing process. Once you've paired up, it'll sync up your contacts and your call history. Your text messages will come through if your phone is compatible with that feature. Moving to the next section, we have navigation built in. You'll see we start with a map view here, and we have a couple of buttons along the bottom. Change the view, change navigation settings, look for points of interest nearby, navigation info, and then new destination. Plug that in, and then you have the choices of how to enter your destination, whether we use an address, if you have your home address saved, searching by points of interest, favorites if you've set them, history if you have previously entered destinations, and then geo-coordinate if you just wanted to look by coordinates. Looking here, this is using the address section. It would have us fill in this template, basically selecting the letters off the screen. And you'll see once we've typed a certain amount, you'll see the number 7 up here in the top right. And if we press this here, it gives us the available options based on what we've typed so far. We'll choose Kalamazoo, Michigan, and then street name. And then South Drake Road is where we're here at the lot. And we are 1600. And then once we've typed that in, press that button in the bottom right, and you'll be shown the destination on the screen, and then you can select navigate to, and it'll show you if you wanted to change route options, alternative routes, avoid things like toll roads or highways. You can do all that stuff right from that menu before you actually press start. So that's your navigation. Within settings, we have a couple different tabs or categories in here. We have display settings. We have safety settings for some of the driver assistance features, sound settings, clock adjustment, vehicle settings, device settings for adding a Bluetooth device, and then some system settings here for things like units that we're using and language and things like that. That applications section, we have high definition radio traffic map if it's available. That does require high definition radio signal. Right now we're indoors, so that's not displaying for us. We have a fuel economy monitor, so you can track your history of your fuel economy on your current drive and for previous drives. And then we have a vehicle status monitor. If you had oil change needed or maintenance needed, that would be located in this section here. Looking down below, we have the climate controls. Temperature is controlled here, and then air conditioning is right in the middle. Fan speed is controlled here with recirculate mode right in the middle. You can also set that to auto so that the vehicle will let you set your own temperature and then take care of the fan speed and location, if you so choose, by itself. This dial here lets us choose the location of the air, whether it's coming out of the top vents, the mix of the two, bottom vents in front defroster, or just the front defroster. And then in the middle of that dial, we have the rear defroster. Down below, we have USB ports and an auxiliary port, as well as heated seats for driver and passenger, along with our passenger airbag indicator. If there's somebody in that seat, it will turn that airbag on for you. If not, the airbag's off. Looking at the gear shift here, there is an unlock button that you use to actually put the car in gear. Putting the vehicle in reverse does give us a backup camera. And then we can put the vehicle in drive, but also move that stick over to the left, which is going to put us in manual mode. And you'll see by pulling the gear stick or pushing it, we can upshift by pulling or downshift by pushing. We could also use these paddles on the backs of the wheel here. So we have a plus and a minus sign. The plus sign would upshift, the minus sign would downshift. Again, if you'd like to manually change gears there. Right behind the gear shift there, we do have our sport mode toggle. So just push that straight forward to turn it on, pull it back to turn it off. And then behind that we have the controls which we were using earlier. We have volume for the audio and our favorites menu here for the audio presets. Looking at the steering wheel, we have on-off switch for the cruise control. You'll see in the screen there on the right side of the screen, a little icon popping up when we turn that cruise on. Once you're up to speed, push set to set that speed. Click the plus sign to speed up, the minus sign to slow down. And if you tap that once, that's going to function as cancel, which would allow you to resume your speed. If you press it twice, that'll turn the cruise control all the way off for you. Looking at the left side of the wheel, we have volume up and down for the audio here. Right in the middle, we have the voice command buttons. You just push straight in the middle of that to activate that. You can use that to place a phone call onto one of your contacts or a specific phone number. We have seek buttons or skip buttons for the presets on the radio here. And then in the middle, an info button, which changes what we have displayed in the screen here to the left side. And then down below, buttons to answer and hang up or decline an incoming phone call. Behind the wheel on the right side, we have the windshield wipers here. A single click up is just a single swipe. If we click down once, that's going to put us into this auto setting. So the windshield wipers are rain sensing, so they'll speed up and slow down depending on the amount of rainfall. But you can also adjust it using this intermittent ring right here. And if we click down, you have low speed and then high speed. For the front washer spray, pull that stalk towards you and hold it there for as long as you'd like it to spray. Looking to the left behind the wheel, we have our headlight controls. The headlights are automatic. We have them set there now. Brights, simply push away to turn on. And those are actually going to become or function in automatic capacity, When you turn on those high beams, they'll come on just so long as there is not another vehicle approaching you. So if there's a car coming at you, the brights will be off. As soon as that vehicle is gone, then your high beams will come back on by themselves. If you need to flash them, you can still do so by just pulling that stalk towards you as needed. Down on the left side here, we have a button to turn off the traction control, which is on by default every time you start the vehicle. And then we have an off switch for the lane departure warning. So with clearly marked road lines, if you were to drift out of your lane, the vehicle would alert you to that with an audible tone. Looking at the door, we have window switches, door locks, window locks, and our mirror adjustments here. Just up above us, we have HomeLink garage door buttons here, so you can program your remote for your garage door opener to use that. And then the on-off switch for the auto dimming function of that rear view mirror. And then just up above, you have a dome light. You can set that to the off position, the door position, or the on position. So that'll come on when you open your door. And because this is a convertible, you can release that top there. So you simply squeeze that latch and unlatch the hook, which will drop the windows down slightly. Once you've done that, then you simply can push the top up and away to release it, and where it will stow behind the seats. Those are the primary features of this 2019 Mazda Miata Grand Touring. If you have any more questions, please refer to us at waltersautos.com or feel free to call 269-375-7008. Thank you. Bye.